makes us so proud that we've been able to actually introduce it in the game.
Yeah.
Because the emotion that Champions League offers to players is second to none. Because when you watch a Champions League game, the stakes are super high, the feeling is different, everybody puts on their best game, and that's what we try to do in FIFA 19 as well. So this is your first group match after you selected Paris Saint-Germain. Go select play match.
All right.
And I'll just try and not concede as many goals.
Oh, we all know the legendary status of Limerick FC.
So how was the score last year? I can't remember exactly.
Well, we still have a score to settle. Let's call it like that.
So right from the get-go, you'll notice, I was just mentioning before the show, we've introduced the concept of pitch degradation in the game. So as you play the game and as you tackle, as different types of steps are taken on the pitch actually degrades, and that, although talking about it seems like a really minor thing, when you actually play the game, it adds so much depth to and authenticity to how visuals look.
Well, one thing that I find amazing about it is that you really genuinely see a visual difference between the first half and the second half. So it means that you feel like in the second half, oh wow, a lot has happened already.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So all these intro sequences have been built from scratch for Champions League, and you will also see the Champions League here, the Champions League anthem play. The teams taking photos at the start of the match. It's as I said before, it's meant to actually get you into that atmosphere, immerse you in that experience.
Shall we get into the action?
Please. All of the broadcast package is also introduced, so you will see all the authentic Champions League team presentations, score overlays,
all of the sponsors.
All of the sponsors too.
For the people wondering why we are laughing.
I know exactly what you're referring to.
But it adds to the realism.
Yes, it's the authentic competition.
It's still early season. Paris Saint-Germain is still sort of getting to know
warming up. So I need to mention that Chris didn't have a chance to play these builds today. So this has been tuned specifically for me.
So you would say it's a fair match?
Yes. You were sorry, I interrupted you.
No, I was going to say that one thing that I think has happened a bit under the hood is that the striking has been changed quite a bit, right?
Yes, so the striking system has been entirely overhauled. What we wanted to achieve by doing that was to give players more options in front of goal and more control, more precision in front of goal. So deeping shots, driven shots, chip shots, finesse shots, all have been entirely rehauled. And I don't know if you noticed them already, but you have, it's more in line with how you would expect a shot to play out, and you have more control over its curve, over the angle, and it's much more rewarding when you actually manage to land a really good shot.
Well, what I like about it is that on the one hand, it's still sort of the normal shooting works still the same way. Oh, this is offside. But the new shooting works in a way that you can add like the risk system.
Oh, you're talking about timed shots. Yes. So there's a new mechanic we introduced. You're right. If you double tap, if you double tap the shoot button, you're able to. If you time it right, you're able to increase your chances of actually that shot having a lot more power and a lot more precision. Now, it's an optional mechanic that, to your point, it's a high risk, high reward one, because if you don't time it right, then chances are a lot higher than the shot will go wide or it will be a poor shot.
Yeah.
But once you master that and you choose the right moment when to use it, it can definitely give you the edge over your opponent, for sure. But everything I said earlier about the shooting system applies to all of the different types of shots, not just timed finishing.
Yeah.
So Chris, what's going on? It's 20 minutes already.
Yeah,
That's not what I expected from PvP.
I was actually going to use this as a bridge to something that I've noticed while playing FIFA 19 compared to FIFA 18 on Nintendo Switch, is that a lot of animations have been added, and the game really plays a lot more fluid, especially because there are so many defensive animations that have been added that you hardly make any tackles. And you can see that Andre is actually very good at stopping me in my tracks and making sure that my passes don't come through.
Oh,
that's very generous of you.
So close.
Yeah, so the other thing besides animation that we did specific in gameplay is that we changed a lot of the AI system to actually make it feel more human, because right now when you're going to play match after match, each match will feel different because the AI will try to mimic the real-life tactics of the team you're playing against.
Oh,
so say,
really?
Yeah. So say you're playing against Manchester City, for example, you will immediately be high-pressured, exactly what Guardiola likes to do. If you play against Barcelona, for example, you will see them playing their tiki-taka style, moving the ball in short passes, trying to create more space in front of goal for them. So this is something we call team personality, but there's also a brother to it, or a sister, called player personality. Oh! Mbappe!
Sorry, I did make use of this moment. But please continue about the player personality.
Yeah, so there's also a concept of player personality that we introduced in the game this year, where individual players will have individual playing styles that cater to how they behave in real life on the pitch. So, for example, Cristiano Ronaldo likes to go out wide, get the ball, and then cut inside.
Yeah.
You will see him do that in the game. Messi likes to come a bit deeper, get the ball to his feet, dribble, make a play, do a skill move. So the AI did not do skill moves until this year at all. And all those things contribute to the game feeling totally different versus last year.
So I guess you had a whole team analyzing every single player and how he likes to do things?
Yeah, we actually have a big team here in Cologne, data collection and licensing, that are basically working with a lot of people around the world to analyze players and teams and everything that's they basically prepare a whole bunch of things for us to be able to use.
Fantastic.
And they're great.
Yeah.
But it also must have been very challenging for you to put all of these features in the Switch version, because there's so many additions that you feel that make the game feel much more fluid.
Yes, it's been now. After the first year, it's been good that the team actually had a chance to get more familiarized with the hardware, with how they can optimize even more, what they can do to cater to its strengths, and we had that advantage on our side as well, because this is the second year after all, and they did a great job. I'm here just representing them, but they take all the credit because the game looks stunning, plays beautiful, and has a lot more depth than last year.
So what is the feature that you've added that you're most proud of that you've achieved?
My own personal favorite, the new kickoff, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're just announcing it at Gamescom this year, and we're letting everyone enjoy it. it's basically an entire overhaul of Kickoff, which was just a one-off match for the most part, that people would kind of get used to the game and play with friends. But the main challenge with it was that it was never persistent. You didn't get any sense of progression or real accomplishment. And say we were playing for a number of years, and you always told me that, hey, I'm better than you in FIFA, and I always said the opposite. I'm better than you in FIFA. Now that's not going to be just hearsay, because the game will actually track your progress and your matchup always.
Yeah.
And
so
it's something I am really excited about, because when I was a kid, I don't remember which footy it was, but there was one where I played it with a friend, and we played it for more than 200 games, and it really kept the score, and it kept the goal difference, and it was...
Yeah, I think it was launch mode or something similar, but that's the intent, to create more, to create progression, give people a sense of accomplishment, and to also be able to customize and diversify their own experience in the game, because we're also introducing the concept of house rules in Kickoff.
Do you want to have a look?
Sure. I'll forfeit this match, so that doesn't count.
I will accept that.
So yeah, we can go in Kickoff, and here basically this is where you select your profiles, and go to select name basically, enter a new name, and this is how you create a local profile that you can then use to identify yourself at all times, and everything is stored on this profile basically. Ready. Okay. Oh, actually, let's go back.
Okay.
And let me show the house rules as well. So, by pressing the right stick, you go into house rules, and there's a bunch of things here. I was saying earlier that Champions League is integrated as well, and if someone, for example, wants to just play a Champions League final with a friend, he can just go in here and activate Champions League.
Nice.
He plays a one-off final together with his friends. But there's also much more to it, because, for example, you can play home and away, you can play best of 3, you can play best of 5, and the game tracks that and together. So
this is actually something that's only possible on the Nintendo Switch version, right?
Yes. Yeah. So King of the Hill, and this is classic and pretty self-explanatory, but the winner gets to keep his team, while the loser has to change his team. So if you combine King of the Hill with best of 5, it means that every time the loser will have to change his team, which adds a little bit of strategic depth to it. Random Teams is one of my personal favorites, because it gives you a subset of teams to choose from. But what's interesting about it is that, say, for example, you get Chelsea in your first subset, and I get Real Madrid in my first subset, and I choose Real Madrid. You're going to think twice, because you're not happy with Chelsea against Real Madrid, but you're going to think twice about randomizing, because you might get even worse teams in your next pool. And you might, I'm going to stick with Chelsea for this one.
Right.
So really quite an engaging mode that we hope people will enjoy and be able to always come back to, and just change the way they.
I'm pretty sure they will.
It really feels like the Kickoff creates a lot of new friend dynamics.
Yes.
And of course, you can now also play online with your friends.
Yes.
So
we're introducing online friendlies.
Friend dynamic.
Friend dynamics.
Enemies.
And there's also something that people have always been vocal about. No rules. So basically there is nothing. No fouls, no offsides, no bookings, nothing. You can play for free. And the other one that is a favorite amongst players is survival, where every time you score, a random player from your team gets kicked off.
It's my favorite one. It's my favorite.
This is such a great idea. Like this is endless replayability.
Exactly.
So have you talked to your fans about that and like heard what they think about it? Like I guess they are super psyched.
Yeah, they are super psyched, because now there's basically a new mode in the game that they can come back to and enjoy with their friends in various ways.
Yeah.
So all of these different combinations, obviously there's a finite number of them, but it allows you to enjoy the game for a longer period of time and not get bored.
Okay. Did you want to go into it?
Sure.
Okay, all right, let's do it, because I have one really